Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah, he just hit it. He hit it. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him all. Yeah. Man, come on. Like. Sounds like you need a team more than ever. I do. Until we find a team, we just gonna have to keep going through it, you know? Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy AssassinUltima, aka Nin, and we back with another YouTube video, man. I know it's been a little minute, but this is also a different type of video, man. A little different than we used to, but had some good gameplay offline, so figured I'd make a video and talk about some things in Apex, man. Mainly speaking today, gonna be the solo queue experience in Apex, man. And just everything that's been going on. And as you can see, we already starting off on a good note in this game, you feel me? Like my two teammates dying, they by themselves. I was pinging earlier that I was gonna grab some loot. They decided to go push a team. They dead. One of them disconnects. You know, I'm gonna actually grab both of them. But the Bloodhound is actually gonna quit. So I'm just like, all right, but you know, this game might be chalk, but just stick around, man. You might see something crazy. But anyway, man, I definitely want to talk about the solo queue experience and especially how it's affected this season. So the first thing I want to say is, if you have people to play this game with, please play with people. Please play with your friends or find people to play with. I do not recommend playing solo queue unless you just want to challenge yourself and, you know, get better at the game individually. There's really no reason to solo queue. If you got people you can play with, please play with people. This game is so much more fun playing with people, because the solo queue experience can be tough, it can be harsh, it can be mentally challenging, mentally draining. It can get to you physically, mentally, and spiritually. And yes, I am talking from experience. But you know, there are some good things about solo queue though, I will say. Like I said earlier, if you want to challenge yourself, if you want to get better at the game personally, I do think that solo queuing can do that, because it'll teach you to really think on your feet, and you may approach fights differently. You know, you don't have that communication, you don't have the people you play with that you can trust. So I do feel like solo queue can be beneficial individually, but as far as, you know, trying to be consistent, trying to climb, and, you know, trying to get better with people, solo queue is definitely not the answer. You definitely want to try to find a team for that. And like I said, with solo queue, it's so common. You'll probably run into people that they may either, you know, have an ego, which is pretty much 90% of the time they'll have an ego, or they just might not be as good. But 90% of the time they just got an ego. They just talk ignorant. They just say things. They really don't say anything helpful. They quick to blame others for their mistakes and stuff like that. So solo queue can be seriously like challenging. And like I said, you got to be mentally tough to really like hop in and even like try to have even a slight bit of success with it. But I guess I could talk about a little bit about my personal experience with it. I've been solo queuing since about season, I want to say 5 or 6. When I started playing this game, I did have a couple friends I used to play with heavy. They got me into the game, and we all took a break. We came back around like season 4 and 5. I played with them a little bit, but then they stopped playing the game as much as I did. So pretty much from like season 5 or 6 on to now, I mainly solo queued. And you know, that's why I can tell people from experience, like solo queue is definitely not the best way to go. I definitely wish I had people to play with. It's kind of harder for me though, because I play on console, and I usually stream. As a matter of fact, y'all make sure y'all go follow me on Twitch, you feel me? Twitch.tv/AssassinUltima. You know, we be streaming Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You know, 7 p.m. start time. Y'all come watch me, check me out. I had to plug that in. But it's hard. I don't have a setup where I can like speak in game chat while also being able to communicate with my chat. So a lot of times I'm only playing with people via the ping system. And the ping system isn't terrible, you know, at least that we have some form of communication, but for solo queue, it's definitely not the best, especially once you start getting into plat, diamond, and higher. Like you might can make it through plat, but once you definitely hit like high plat, diamond, and higher, you definitely want to be able to talk with people verbally. So a lot of times I tell people like, hey, you know, I may not be doing it, but if you do play solo queue, definitely cut that game mic on, try to get some kind of communication. You know, as much as there are bad people or ignorant people that play this game, there are a couple times you'll play with some good people, you know what I'm saying, some chill people out there. The community isn't all bad, but for the most part, you definitely want to try to play with a team, no doubt. For me though, I've been solo queuing for so long that even when I do play with a team, for me personally, it's actually kind of hard for me to really do good, because I think I'm just so used to playing solo. So there's a lot of times when I'm not talking, or I'm making a push or a flank and I'm not really communicating with my team. So it's some things I got to work on too, but I will definitely say the good thing about the solo queue is I do feel like individually it's made me a better player. Like I feel like some of my decision making abilities strictly comes from me playing solo queue, because I know it's really just me, unless my randoms, you know, are good, or I'm playing good, or they show me that there's some solid teammates. So, you know, that's how it is for me. But season 13, this is definitely the hardest ranked season I have personally played. I honestly think it's the hardest ranked season the entire community has had to go through. So definitely for season 13, like solo queue it's tough, bro. Like it's like it was so tough. Like me personally, the first split on this map, Storm Point, I think I literally hit like plat 4, plat 3, and then just kind of gave up, bro. Like I was so frustrated because the games are harder. You know, they changed the kill system. It's a lot more RP you lose if you die early. You gotta earn a lot more RP to get back to previous ranks. So it honestly got very frustrating for me, and I tried to play it out, but I just mentally couldn't do it. So I took a break. But I will say, currently, as this video is going out, the split is on World's Edge, and it's a lot better. They did make a couple changes to the rank system. They lowered the cost of the entry. They made kills, you know, a little bit more RP worthy. So I will say it does feel a lot better. This split is still pretty tough, don't get me wrong. Like, I'd still definitely suggest trying to find a team to play with. If you can play with people, man, or if you do solo queue, like, just be prepared. Like, just be patient. That's like the biggest advice I can give to people. Like, if you just don't have a choice of solo queue, like maybe you just can't find people to play with, or you want to play when your other friends aren't available, just be patient. You have to be patient and think about every fight, and honestly play like it's just you in a 1v3, bro. Like if you're in a solo queue, you have to treat every fight like it's a 1v3 unless your teammates show you otherwise. Now if you get in with a pretty good duo or something like that, hey, ride the wave, bro. Like you're having a good time. Y'all may win the game or at least get some decent RP. But 9 times out of 10, you know, there's going to be no communication, or they're going to do what they want to do, and you have to make a decision like, okay, you got to play a little selfish. But I did think about some possible changes that maybe the devs could do to make solo queue a little easier. And I said a couple of changes, but it's really just kind of one change. And the one thing that I thought of was maybe for solo queue and even duo queue, like raise the multiplier for kills and assists. I think that would be a pretty solid change to help like solo queuers and even duo queues, because there are a lot of people that duo, you know, they at least have one person to play with, but they may not have a third. So I think raising the multiplier would help. So like, I'm honestly not sure what the multiplier is right now currently, because they did recently change it. But let's just say for the sake of argument that, you know, for a 3-stack or the normal multiplier, you know, maybe you get like a 1.2 or something, right? So maybe for duo, like if you're a duo queue, you get a 1.5 multiplier. And if you're solo queue, then you get like a 1.7 multiplier or a 1.8 multiplier. So it's kind of, you know, so it just kind of gives you a little bit more RP, because you're still getting kills and stuff like everybody else. But to me, it's a lot harder to get kills if you're solo queue versus like if you have a 3-stack and y'all are constantly communicating, and you know, like y'all got the comms on deck, y'all play with each other for a while, so y'all got the chemistry. it's a lot easier to get kills and, you know, have good fights than if you're solo queuing, you're constantly playing with different people every single match. So one way to kind of, you know, get an incentive or reward the solo queuers, I would think, would be to just raise the multiplier for kills and assists that they get. Because you got to think too, like it's a lot harder for a solo queuer in ranked to get 7 kills playing with 2 randoms than it is for like one person IGLing for his 3 stack and he gets like 7 kills playing with them. Like to me, it's a huge difference. I don't know, maybe other people will say different. Y'all let me know. And not only that, man, y'all let me know about just how season 13 is going for y'all, man. Like if y'all played season 13 or if y'all played live split and this split, you know, let me know how y'all feel. Does rank feel easier for y'all? Does it feel the same? Does it feel worse? You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know. I want to hear y'all thoughts about it. And also let me know for the non-rankers as well, man, because pubs actually got affected really hard too because of this season. So any of y'all that play casually, man, y'all let me know as well. Like, you know, do the lobbies still feel super sweaty? Did they get a little easier? Or are they about the same? You know, I definitely want to hear y'all thoughts, man. But in the end of the video, you see we did end up winning. Just me and the Loba, which is crazy. But if y'all made it to this part of the video, man, I definitely appreciate y'all sticking around, man. And like I said, this is something new for me, man. So also let me know if y'all want me to do voiceovers like this, man. I do enjoy it. I know I may have been all over the place, but I will get better with that. But hey, you already know the motto, man. Stay in them shadows, keep that training going. And I'll catch y'all in the next video, man. Peace.